Large cap blue chip stocks are the first choice for most investors. They feel safe, they feel stable. Great. But if you want more than just stability, then which large cap you buy matters. Because even among large caps, growth and returns are very different. That's why in this video we are talking about 5 large cap companies that combine scale, consistency and growth. And how did we shortlist these 5 companies? Well, I'll tell you the exact process at the end of this video, so stay tuned till the end. But first, let's analyze each of these 5 stocks closely, and let's start with stock number 5 on our list, which is Polycab India Limited. Whenever India builds something, homes, offices, factories, roads, wires and cables are always needed. Polycab sits right at the heart of India's electrification story. Founded in 1996, Polycab is today India's largest wires and cables manufacturer with 27 manufacturing plants and a distribution network of over 4,300 dealers and distributors across the country. This scale matters because it allows Polycab to serve multiple demand engines from housing to infrastructure projects to government work all at the same time. In the organized domestic wires and cables market, it holds a 26 to 27% market share, making it the clear leader. Now let's look at the growth. In Q3 FY26, Polycab's domestic wires and cables revenue grew 59% year-on-year, while the industry growth during the same period was around 20%. Now here's where the story gets interesting. During the same quarter, copper prices rose around 35% and aluminium prices rose around 27%. For a wires and cables company, that's direct pressure on costs. But Polycab passed only 75 to 80% of the cost increase to customers. Instead of protecting short-term margins, they chose to protect volumes and distributor relationships. So even though margins dipped this quarter, Polycab is confident that over a full cycle, its wires and cables business can comfortably operate at 11 to 13% margins. Polycab manufactures key inputs like aluminium rods and PVC compounding in-house, which gives them tighter cost control, better product quality, and higher operating efficiency. Another strength is distribution trust. Also, today, Polycab is already using around 80% of its factory capacity. This means it can increase production without spending heavily on new factories. Now, let's quickly look at the risks. The wires and cables industry remains highly competitive with aggressive unorganized players limiting pricing power. Next, near-term challenges include commodity price volatility, rupee depreciation, and weaker exports due to tariff uncertainty in the US. Also, higher copper prices led to dealer stocking, pushing inventory to 40 to 45 days, which may cause short-term volatility. Now, let's move on to the next stock on our list, Cummins India. Some businesses are invisible until something goes wrong. Power goes off, operations stop, and suddenly backup power becomes mission critical. That's where Cummins India comes in. Cummins has been operating in India for over 60 years. It builds engines and power systems used across data centers, hospitals, airports, railways, defense, factories, and mines. Basically, places where power failure is not an option. Its business is well diversified: power generation, industrial engines, exports, and after-sale services. This reduces dependence on any one sector or cycle. Now let's look at the numbers. In the September 2025 quarter, Cummins reported 3,122 crore in revenue, up 28% year-on-year. Profit before tax grew over 41%, which tells you operating leverage is kicking in. A big driver here is data centers. As India's digital economy expands, data centers are coming up across cities, and every data center needs reliable backup power. Management has already said that data centers have become a meaningful growth driver. Now, the opportunity here is long-term. India's data center penetration is still far lower than US, China, or Europe. Even partial catch-up creates a multi-year runway for Cummins. But there are risks. Competition is rising, especially in lower horsepower segments. Pricing power is limited, and data center orders are lumpy. Some quarters are very strong, some can be softer. So near-term numbers can be volatile. Still, at its core, Cummins is a trust-based business. Once installed, customers rarely switch. That's why Cummins earns its place as a high-quality large cap. So let's move to the next company on our list, Trent Limited. Retail is a tough business. Margins are thin, competition is intense, and consumer demand can change quickly. Yet, Trent has quietly built one of India's strongest retail execution stories. Through Westside and Zudio, Trent cracked fast fashion the Indian way. Affordable, trend-focused, and tightly controlled. Today, Trent operates 1,100 stores across 250 cities with nearly 14.7 million square feet of retail space. What makes Trent different is discipline, private labels, tight inventory control, and careful store expansion. Most importantly, the company is not chasing growth blindly. A big part of its expansion is happening in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. These markets are still early in fashion consumption. Stores may take time to mature, but they significantly expand Trent's long-term runway. Over time, Trent has delivered consistent revenue growth, expanding margins and strong return ratios. But yes, risks are real too. Competition from Shoppers Stop, ABFRL, and online platforms is intense. Demand can soften during weak consumer sentiment or bad weather. And in recent quarters, smaller discretionary categories saw some pressure. But structurally, Trent remains one of the cleanest large cap retail stores in India. Now let's move on to the next stock on our list, BSE Limited. Most people know BSE as the Sensex exchange. But today, BSE is much more than just a trading platform. It operates a full market infrastructure business, trading, clearing and settlement, corporate services, data dissemination, and mutual fund distribution. A large part of BSE's revenue is recurring and not volume dependent. That's a big difference. A big strength is the Star MF platform, which processes SIPs and mutual fund transactions. As India's household savings move into financial assets, this becomes an annuity-like income stream. Now let's look at performance. In the September 2025 quarter, BSE's transaction charges grew 57% year-on-year, reaching nearly 794 crore. This happened because growth in derivatives trading was strong and it more than made up for the slowdown in cash market volumes. At the same time, BSE has been gaining market share in index derivatives. Why does that matter? Because more participants bring more liquidity and that creates a strong network effect over time. But risks exist. BSE operates in a highly regulated environment. Rule changes can impact earnings. Also, derivatives income is sensitive to volatility. Low volatility can reduce fee per trade even if volumes look high. So short-term earnings can swing. But for a long-term investor, BSE is a direct play on India's financialization story. As more people invest, trade and raise capital, BSE earns at the center of the system. Now let's move on to stock number 1 on our list, Eicher Motors. Most two-wheeler companies in India fight for volume. Eicher Motors doesn't. It plays a very different game. When you think of Eicher Motors, you think of Royal Enfield. And that's exactly where the strength lies. Royal Enfield dominates India's premium motorcycle segment bikes above 250cc. Now here's why that matters. While the overall motorcycle industry grows in mid-single digits, the premium segment grows faster. And Eicher is the clear leader here. As of December 2025, Royal Enfield controls 87 to 88% of India's mid-sized motorcycle market. Now let's look at the growth. In FY25, Eicher delivered 11% volume growth, while the industry grew around 9%. In 7 months of FY26, the gap widened even more. Eicher grew 27%, the industry grew just 4%. Exports are also picking up. In FY25, exports grew nearly 30% and they continue to scale as Royal Enfield builds presence across Europe, Latin America and Asia. But Eicher is not only about bikes. The second engine is its commercial vehicle business through VECV, the joint venture with Volvo. And here's the important part. Eicher is not chasing heavy trucks aggressively where demand is volatile and margins are weak. Instead, it has built leadership in light and medium duty trucks. Today, Eicher holds about 35% market share in this segment. This part of the CV cycle is structurally healthier. Why? Because it's driven by e-commerce, intra-city logistics, infrastructure execution and replacement demand. And financial discipline shows up here too. Despite competition, the EBITDA and PAT margins have improved. Exports, parts and services are growing steadily, making earnings more resilient across cycles. The recent 544 crore investment in an AMT transmission plant adds long-term optionality, positioning India as a global manufacturing hub for Volvo Group. Now let's talk about risks. The premium motorcycle segment still makes up only 8 to 10% of India's total bike market. That limits how fast volumes can grow. Competition in premium bikes is rising. Higher GST on bikes above 350cc impacts affordability. In commercial vehicles, heavy truck demand remains weak as freight shifts to rail. EVs and alternate fuels are a long-term disruption, though adoption is still slow. Now that we have covered all the 5 stocks, let's see how we found these from the entire stock universe. We started by running a strict screener query. Think of this as the first big filter that removes average and weak businesses. Market capitalization above 1 lakh crore. This keeps us focused on large established companies with stability and liquidity. Sales growth above 12%. This tells us the company is seeing healthy demand for its product or services. Profit growth above 15%. Growth should translate into earnings, not just high revenues. 3-year sales growth above 15%. This checks consistency and avoids one-year wonders. PEG ratio below 1.5. Well, PEG ratio in simple terms shows whether a stock's valuation is justified by its growth. It compares the PE ratio with earnings growth, helping us see if we are paying a fair price or overpaying for future growth. And ROCE above 18%, this ensures the business uses capital efficiently. When all these filters come together, we are left with a small, high-quality shortlist. So these were our 5 large-cap companies to watch. Each one is different sectors, different business models, different risks. But they all share 3 things: scale, consistency, and long-term growth visibility. If you found this useful, hit the like button. It really helps us understand and build. And tell us in the comments which of these 5 stocks do you like the most and why. Also, if you want us to break down mid-cap stocks next, type mid-cap in the comments. See you in the next one.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.